My name is Lopez and come at you from lopezsingh.com. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the things that you should know before you get started on your side hustle or if you want to start a business. And I'm going to talk about some of the mistakes I made in the beginning. And it's critical because I actually lost a lot of money after a couple of years because in the beginning, I kind of underestimated myself. I really didn't take it serious because in the beginning, I kind of I got involved. If you don't know my story, I got involved in the direct sales, MLM. Some people call it network marketing or whatever. So I got involved in the it's a company back then they called it YTB, which was a travel booking agency back then. And then I got involved into Amway too. So here's the deal. Back then, I didn't really take it serious because I had a full-time job. Plus, I was taking classes at ECPI, so I had a lot on my plate. So I didn't really have a lot of time it was very difficult for me to have free time to do very much anything because I was working full time and I was taking classes full time, and plus the little bit of time I had left was maybe 2 to 3 hours. So I'm up at late at night, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and I had to go to class at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I had to go to work at 3 in the afternoon. So I was working like this 5, 6 days a week. So it was very difficult for me. And to make a long story short, I got burned out. I got burnt out. And by the time I ended up in a hospital, emergency room. This is after 2 years of having that rigorous schedule. So by the time reality set in, I got audited. I ended up owing money for taxes, and the reason why that happened is because I was operating like I was an employee, right? And the problem with that is if you're making large sums of money, and if you're operating like you're an employee, you're gonna end up paying 45-50% taxes. So you're gonna, so what somebody told me, this is years later, that I should have created a tax shelter. Now at the time, this was early 2000. I thought, I didn't know what the hell that meant. They said, hey, so I said, hey, what's that mean? You should start a corporation or LLC. So I said, oh, okay, But see, at the time, I didn't really know anything about that. No one was around to tell me that. I didn't have anybody around to tell me that. But what I learned is most of the people that I had around me, it's only a select few people that were making boatloads of cash. They were already doing this. They were already set up already, but they never told me that. So I never asked. I never bothered to ask because I just didn't know. So what happened is I found a company and I created a corporation. It's been 5 years now, and it's really simple procedure. All you do, I found a firm, a lawyer firm, attorney firm, and you just basically pay the money. Now a lot of people told me I should have went through LegalZoom, but LegalZoom is expensive. So I ended up paying, depending on your state, it's going to be federal is usually $100. Depending on your state, it's going to be between $50 to $100, somewhere in between. So the total I end up ended up paying as $150 to get the paperwork straight. So basically, all I had to do was go to the website, fill in all the information, and your name, your address, the name that you want your business to be, and you just paid. I paid $150 online, and that was it. And they sent me all the paperwork within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and they'll give you the details of what you need to do, and I had to pay the state of Georgia, because that's where I live. I had to pay the state of Georgia $50 within the next 90 days, because that's their annual fee. So every state's got fees. Yeah, it's an annual fee. That's just how that is. To keep your corporation or the LLC or whatever you got going. Keep it official, basically. And when you go down to, you're going to take that paperwork and go down to your bank, local bank, whatever bank you want to open your account in. You want to open a small business bank, a checking account, and a savings account. Now, see, in the beginning, I didn't know this. If I knew this in the beginning, I would have saved thousands and thousands of dollars. Because you have to understand, at my job, I'm making $40K, and the money that I was making on the side was almost double of my job. I didn't even have to touch my money that I was making for my job at one point until I ended up in the hospital. That's one thing changed. I had to slow down. When I went up in the hospital at the emergency room, I went part-time at my job. I just focused on school and my side hustles at the time. And that's when I slowed down. That's when I ended up. That's when I went to file taxes. This is 2 years afterwards. That's when I ended up owing money. But if I would have known all of this, I would have saved money. So once you go down to the bank account, open up your small business bank account, you want to deposit all your money in your small business bank account, and you're going to build business credit automatically over 6 to 12 months, 18 months, and then you're going to start getting offers from everywhere, like you do your personal credit. So on the, say, me personally, everybody's different. It depends on how much transaction you have going through your bank account. But within the first, after about 8 months, I started receiving offers from credit cards and big stores and all kind of companies. They want to lend you money. They want you to get a credit card. And what happens is, once you start a corporation, you're separate from your corporation. It's like your corporation, your business, is like another entity, like another person. So you're separate. You're like two people. Your corporation is one person, and you're one person. But I wish I would have known this in the beginning, but I'd save a lot of money, and I wouldn't end up owing money. But if you don't know what you don't know, as they say. So that's the first thing that's the first thing you should know. And see, I was under the assumption that corporations was big business, but I was wrong, because all corporations start small. Most people don't start with millions and millions of dollars. Most businesses don't start like that. They start small. So, I didn't know. So, once I got that set up, now the first thing you must think about, whatever you decide to do, whatever business, side hustle, etc., make sure you like doing it. Because when I got involved with YTB and Amway, I hated it. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy being around the people. That's the thing. So that in itself made me want to quit. And regardless of the amount of money I was making, I just wanted to quit. I hated it. And that's one of the reasons why I was so stressed. I realized once I look back, that's one of the main reasons why I was so stressed out, because I hated doing it. So my thing is, make sure you like doing whatever you decide to do, because as soon as you things start not going your way, you're gonna 9 times out of 10, most people are gonna find a way to quit. That's just what I've been seeing over the past 20 years. But make sure you like doing whatever you're doing. I'm not gonna say you have to be passionate about doing whatever it is, but just make sure you like doing it. Make sure you don't hate doing whatever it is. And make sure that you do some research when it comes to getting involved in anything that you decide to do. Make sure there's other people that's doing it. Make sure they've been in business for a while. Look for longevity. Don't look for the short get rich quick scheme or the quick buck. Make sure find other people that's doing whatever you're doing or whatever you want to do. Try to take them out to lunch if you can. Ask them questions, get to know them. See how they went about doing whatever they did in order to be successful. So do that. Look for people that's in the trenches. Because I know there's a lot of people out here that's kind of in a fantasy world. They kind of there's a lot of lies being told out here about what works and what don't work, and a lot of theories, and people aren't really doing what they say they're doing. There's a lot of people that will show you money, show you large sums of cash, but they won't really show you how they made it. They won't really go into details of how they accomplished whatever they claim they did. So be careful when it comes to that. Get to know people. Take them out to lunch, where I said, and get into circles, like networking circles, like attend meetups, conferences, seminars, buy like books, like go to conferences if you can. It's like I got books I buy books like this. I buy books like this, copyrighted books. I get magazines like this. And I get these books and I attend these conferences and seminars because you have to continuously educate yourself. You're never going to be too good, or you can't ever get too big, or you can't ever get to a point where you know everything. It doesn't work like that. This is not like a job. No, this has to be like a lifestyle. This has to be like a way of life for you. And another thing you have to realize, a lot of stuff is not going to go as planned. So you're going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to be flexible. You can't be too set in your ways about how you want things to go. The marketplace is going to tell you what they want and how they want it. And you're going to have to listen. You have to be a good listener. And you have to be a good marketer. See, the marketing is like the brains behind anything that you have to promote. You have to be able to package things in a way that would make people pull out their hard-earned money and pay for whatever you got. You have to be see a lot of people will say, I got the best product in the world, I'm the best thing smoking in the city, but nobody wants to buy it, so it's a waste of time. So you have to sell and promote something that people would pay money for. Will people show up at your event, or will they buy what you have online, or you might have a hard product. Are people willing to spend money, or are there other people in your profession selling the same thing or promoting the same thing? If the answer is yes, you probably can do what they do and better. But you don't have to guess at anything. You know, you got the internet, you got all these resources today. You got the internet, you can go to the library, you go to the bookstore, you can talk to people. You know, when I got started, it wasn't like this. You didn't have all the resources like we have today. The internet was just on the rise in the early 2000s, like 2002. You know, internet wasn't like it is today. So you just gotta listen to the marketplace, do a lot of research, and in the beginning, if you're starting from scratch, it's gonna be a lot of work in the beginning. You're gonna need a lot of help. So you're gonna have to have a team of people. And I don't know how many people it's gonna take. It's just depending on what you're into, what you decide to do. But I can promise you this. It's going to require a lot of work, a lot of time, and you're not going to be able to do everything by yourself. I can guarantee that. You know, and you know, teamwork. I know this is a cliche statement. Teamwork really does make the dream work. It's a cliche statement, but it's really true. There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire. No one man or woman does everything by themselves. Everyone has help. So you're gonna have to reach out to people. If you rather you want interns, and you can get interns in exchange for, you know, if you can't pay them, you can teach them skills in exchange for working with you. That usually works very well, especially if you're known to have an acquired skill yourself. You can tell the intern, say, hey, if you work with me for a certain amount of time, in exchange for that, I'll show you how to do social media. You know, I'll show you how to advertise on YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, or whatever. You know, that usually works pretty well. Or you can have, if you have kids, you know, you can have your kids help you out with the little techie stuff, like programming or designs or building websites, all that stuff. And you know, if you don't know how to do copywriting, you might have to hire somebody to do that, or you might have to learn on your own. Regardless of what you decide to do or not do, or hire somebody else or get an intern, it's good to know what's going on. It's good to know how things work. It's not good to just hire people out, hire or outsource everything, and don't really pay attention to the details. Don't pay attention to what's going on. Because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your business. You're responsible for everything that happens around you. So you can't blame people when things go wrong or when things don't go your way. Because at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for everything. Or I say you should take responsibility for everything. Because it's your business and no one's going to care as much as you. And as far as money, in the beginning, you know, I didn't have a lot of money. The money that I worked for at my job, I basically used the money at my job to fund everything. Because in the beginning, of course, it didn't require much, but as time goes on, it's going to require more. Because the more you make, and you're gonna need help. So some people I had to pay, and you know, some people I brought on as like an intern or whatever. So whichever case, I don't know your situation, you know, but I don't mind. I had to pay some people, you know, because like I didn't have time to teach. I didn't have time to really teach anybody. So I had to pay people to do the majority of things. And plus I had to pay for marketing. I had to pay for like a magazine ad or article, or I had to pay for some marketing online. YouTube, Google, Bing, Yahoo, you know, so you gotta pay for that stuff. It doesn't require a lot of money online, but magazines is very expensive. Magazines is hundreds of dollars thousands of dollars sometimes. It really depends on what profession you're in and what market you're trying to target, what audience you want. So it really depends. But the bigger you get, the more marketing dollars you pretty much gonna have to put out there, which makes sense because the marketing is like the brains behind every business. And it's not about how good the product is. If that was true, look at McDonald's. The food is horrible, but they're what $1 trillion business. McDonald's is everywhere. So it's about how the product is packaged. It's the message. It's the packaging. It's the copy. It's everything. Marketing is everything. So those are just a couple of things I wish I'd known in the beginning. And if you need any help with incorporating with the company that I use, I'm gonna put the link below this video. And if you need any additional help with getting started in as far as marketing goals or as far as any advice, I'll point you in the right direction. Just click the link below and send me an email by clicking on the contact link below this video, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So if you like what you heard, go to my website, lopezlisting.com. Subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.